Okay, I'm gonna walk you through how to install this into 3D Studio Max on Windows 10. It's very tricky because of the updates that you get from Windows 10 frequently. You have to keep an eye on it. And also, I'm going to talk about the update manager for Autodesk 2, which is kind of tricky. And it was one of the main culprits of corrupting the software. So, first of all, you want to be logged into the Autodesk.com, and you're going to go into the educational section. So, you're going to sign in and have an account. And then you will go in and click onto the software. And right now on Windows 10, I'm using Edge. I'm not using Windows Explorer, Firefox, or Chrome. I've come to the conclusion that Windows 10 loves Microsoft Edge. It's designed for it. So I think with these kind of very beefy and heavy downloads, Edge is the best thing to actually use. So I wouldn't. Yes, it can work on Explorer and Firefox and Chrome, even Opera, but I think because it's designed to work with Edge, I think that's the best way to monitor it because you're going to have a lot of heavy downloads with this. Okay. So the culprit is Max 2017, right? You pick that, you pick your operating system, which is Windows 64-bit, and you pick your language. Okay. I already have a serial number of things set up here, so it's going to look kind of weird to what I'm doing. And when you do this, you'll automatically get an email to the account that's addressed to you where Autodesk has you logged into, and getting that message into it. So what is commonly done is people say install now, but that's not what you're going to do. It's not going to work on Windows 10. What you need to do is go down and do a browser download. What happens is that there are two files of 3D Studio Max. One's the main file, which you're going to see is one, and then another one's a ghost file that says two. And I'll show you what these files actually look like. So if I click on browser download, okay, and it's blinking up here, trying to load. All right, so you see that we have, do you want to install Autodesk Max 1? And you're going to say save as. And you're going to put it into um, your downloads area. Okay, and here's my downloads. So I already downloaded it before. And if you take a look at this and see, you're going to get two of these. You're going to get one that says 1 and one that says 2. And what's the mistake with Windows 10 is that when people are downloading this, they think it's only one installer, but it's two. But you want to activate one. So you're going to see this and say save, and it's going to go through. And then you're going to see another one that says save and it comes back in. And these are pretty much like 3 GB downloads each one. So once you get these two files in, when you say save or save as, what's going to happen is that you're going to click on the first one, and some of the stuff inside of that first one is going to activate the second download. That's the big issue. So students have been downloading this and only been getting one download because they cancel the second one, thinking that it's a duplicate download. It's not. It's partially part of the first download, but they're breaking it into two parts so it can download a little quicker. It's a huge file to actually do. Um, all right, just for the sake of argument, I'm just gonna call this, you know, um, call it test. Okay. And then you see another one actually comes up too. So one, and then say save, save as. Okay. And there's my one test there, and I'm gonna go in and say save test two. Okay. So see, that's the quick thing that you don't see. You have two downloads is going here, and you can view these downloads because they're very large and going into the process. So what I'm going to do is, and it's picking up your virus software too, so I can go in with these downloads and just say cancel. But the thing about, before I do that, I just want to show you in Edge, you can kind of monitor to see how long this is actually taking here. Okay, you got a 2 gigabyte file, which is the second file. It's really the ghost file. And you have the 1.1 gigabyte file, which is the first file. So I'm just going to cancel both of these. All right. So now we go into our downloads folder. We will have the two files there. And you see right now, those are incomplete files. So if it's a complete file, you'll see that it has like this little Autodesk A here to do that. And it will show you a little bit bigger so you can see that you have these. So when your files look like this, when you do the download way, then you're ready to actually go. All right, so I'm just going to click on one to get it started. And I'm going to click on the 001 first one. And while that's actually getting ready to load, because I already have it onto my system, so it's going to do some weird things. What I did with my drive when I installed this is that I went to my hard drive, and it's running in the background, so I can go in. And I went in and I named my drives weird, so don't pay attention to that. But I made a folder for Autodesk. Okay, and you see in here I have all my Autodesk software information in here because Autodesk tend to like to work with Autodesk. You have a little couple problems if you're going to put it outside or in the program folder. So I just go to my C drive, make a folder, it's called Autodesk, and point everything to that, and it should work perfectly fine. Okay, so still spinning around here trying to get started. And what I'm going to do is open up my Autodesk Desk application, which is also going to pop up when you have one of these installed into your window. All right. So this is what it's saying now. And I'm getting back to that when I started the file. It's going to extract to my Autodesk folder. It already knows to do that because that's where it's named. Okay. And I'm going to put Autodesk just for the sake of argument because it's already installed in. If let me do it, it says no, it won't let me do it. Okay, so what will happen if I click OK, then it'll self extract to go in to that folder, the Autodesk folder that I have here. Okay, it will self extract into here. I'll hit cancel. And these are what these folders are here from here. Okay, so your content will be in there, and you can hit setup and it'll actually start. So the whole holdup of this is, yes, with the setup, that second file are DLL files and material library files that actually holds up. So you have to kind of download those to your drive to get it to kind of work. You know, it's kind of weird and kind of hard process, but it's the best way to actually get it on there fast and efficiently. It took me about 2 hours to download this after locking down everything off my router to get it done. Okay. And again, when I go into install, okay, I can go in, you know, say accept. All right. And it's already into my system, but then I have a folder. Remember, I can go in and point it back to this Autodesk folder I created. That's what I'm going to have to do. I really wouldn't trust the program files in Autodesk because Autodesk, again, is a very robust program. So it wants its own identity on your hard drive or your C drive. So I would kind of point it to a folder directly from C drive and then that name of that folder, which would be Autodesk, to install into there. Okay. Yes, I want to cancel the installation. Going back down to this desktop application hub is that this is where your updates are actually coming in. Okay. And you notice that I kind of locked this down that I can control these updates as they come in. And I always tell my students, don't update until I tell you it's ready to update. Because a lot of these security fixes will mess up software. Okay. And it says right here, all Windows 10 updates must be current to actually work. I actually turned off my updates for Windows 10, with the exception of the creative media updates, which are kind of sneaking through. But the main system and operating system updates, I kind of shut those off until something very major that Microsoft themselves say we have to download, because the updates will actually start to corrupt this, and then these Autodesk fixes will also corrupt the software too. And I've seen it times and times again with students having ghosted kind of screens. They load in files, the files get corrupted, the program doesn't start. It's all these little tweaks that's working with Windows 10 to actually do that. So it took a little bit of time to kind of figure that out and kind of get it to working. Um, but it works kind of properly, pretty good. Okay. So what I just do now is I'm going to start up 3D Studio Max, and you'll get a green light when you know that's actually installed onto your system. Um, Besides you seeing this menu, which you'll be happy after the 2 hour download, you want to make sure you go in, and I want to show you how to activate your system. And that's going back in, and I'm jumping back into Edge right now, putting in this serial number and product key into that situation. Okay. So you still want to kind of keep those windows simultaneously open up as it's actually loading. All right. Now you see that you always want to make sure that you get all your plugins and everything that's associated with 3D Studio Max loading as it starts up each time. A couple of times when I installed, I got a red line here saying that something was missing. And if you move your folder or you move a file or accidentally a plugin or a DL file within Max, you can get that message too. So I'm just, like I said, my goal is just to work on troubleshooting for anything for 3D Studio Max or Windows 10. And I'm just kind of, as we're loading this, talking about some of the things I experienced with students in the courses about the program not loading up, the program have ghosting issues. Those are a lot of different reasons of doing that to do and causing that in. And then once I show you how to activate this, then we can go in and I want to show you about the video drivers, which is very crucial also. Okay, so it should be kind of getting there. That's why I'm still talking to wait till it gets there. Take some time to kind of to warm up because there's a lot of files is actually opening up at the same time. So, but you should also be aware about the Autodesk desktop application. I think that's kind of crucial and what people are missing that step, because now in 2017 it automatically installs with any type of Autodesk software. So it kind of manages what you have on your system. And you can kind of see I have 3D Studio Max, Maya, I have Motion Builder, I have Mudbox, and I have Fusion 360 all on here. So it kind of keeps a tab of what needs to have fixes, what are any kind of updates that are available. See, all the updates are installed. So this is a good know on how to troubleshoot if you're having problems with the software. But I think the most notorious one is 3D Studio Max for having that. Okay. And it does take a while to actually load in here because I am doing screen capture and things like that. So hopefully it will start up. Okay. But I mean, you just have to make sure that you don't upload, do these updates. I mean, I think that's kind of crucial. That can really shut things down as you're working. All right, finally it's open. Yay. All right, so we get it to load and it's still spinning around. Okay, what we're gonna do is go to help pretty soon and then we can get started. Okay. So when you get in and you finally see what 3D Studio Max is installed, this will actually come up and then you'll get a welcome screen that comes up. Okay. And that should be popping up any minute. Okay. And I deliberately left the welcome screen on because I like to keep it on as I kind of show students, because that's what the version they're going to see. So if I kind of turn these things off, you know, I really want to turn them off. It's just that it's just not realistic what the student's going to see at a certain point. So I try to keep everything what they will see. And this box will actually come up. So it'll show you about things that you need to update, start, and give you some kind of basic even tutorials to start out and how to learn and stuff like that. Okay. So you can go in and you say open new file. It gives you different types of file. I'm just going to close that out right now. All right. If I go into help and I go to activate, okay, and you know, let's see. That would be in the product information here. See, mine is already activated. Okay, and if I go to about 3D Studio Max, okay, mine is activated here. Okay, you see the license and all the information. Okay, push on the license information. When you actually start the first time, this is how you actually go in, and it'll ask you, do you want to, you go into about 3D Studio Max, and this will pop up and say, do you want to activate your license? And that's where you'll put your information in. Mine is already activated. Okay, and it's, I have a student license down there. I can go in and change the license and things of that sort. All right. So once you get to that point, you should be okay. All right. Now going into customize and preference. The next biggest problem that we've been having across the board is the video card drivers. So I went to custom and preferences, and I'm going to click on the viewports. And this is the main culprit where you says choose driver. A lot of systems can't work with the Nitrous Direct3D 11, even though it's recommended. You might have to go back to a legacy OpenGL if you get a lot of ghosting or your files start to disappear onto the screen, like the models disappear. You may even just drop back to Direct3D 9. If you're having technical and video issues, I would kind of test these out and just see which one actually works. You know, I had one student that couldn't get back to change it. So if that's a point, then that's a hardware issue with your video card to go back in and change it. But you should be able to easily swap these in and out to work for your best feature to get your video card stable. And that's another big problem that people are having. But other than that, I think once you follow this method of how to install with the 2 downloads, I think everything should be okay. So again, if any more questions like that, just talk to your academic counselor, and I'll go into a little bit more details to help you guys with that along the way.